It was a cold day here in Cyber City. I found a clue to the where. Abouts to where the rest of the super planet Dolan crew are. Dolan himself wasn't thinking straight for finding them, but this opportunity wasn't getting slipped from me.
Looking for the rest of Dolan's friends in a warehouse? I can't believe my luck. But I bet I can find some more clues inside. Why would Darlink herself just drop a map and the list like that? It's like she was trying to hide something.
No doubt that she is a two-faced character.
Right you are, Jade. Wait, Jade? Hey, what are you doing here?
Melissa figured that you went to find the rest of her friends, so now she and us are involved. This will take some to figure out where they are. So I suggest you do a review with Melissa this time.
Is there a camera here?
There are cameras right near you too.
Oh. Hey guys, I'm at a warehouse where I think the rest of Dolan's friends are, but before we continue with the search, let's do something new for the channel, like a review. As you notice in the Return to the Murder House last year, and you'd figured out that I'm a Power Rangers fan. If it isn't, I like Power Rangers.
But let's get something straight. Just because he's a fan of it doesn't mean he can't poke fun at it. Let's face it, the show is cheesy, the concept ridiculous. Sometimes casting doesn't see a potential problem that they really should have. The science is ridiculous, and there's just a lot to make fun of.
As such, but I laugh at plenty of parodies of it, like Odd Humor's Zordon is Racist sketch, or Animaniacs sketch, making fun of the fight scenes and dialogue and morality he plays.
The other thing to remember about those, they're actually funny!
Unlike today's video, Mightily Murdered Power Rangers. It's a black and white parody comic. And this will be the first comic book review that will be in no way in ripping off atop the fourth wall.
And today will be the first since this channel needs a break from usual stuff it does, and on the 356th episode, because I am now a member of J.N.F's crew, let's do a first as we dig into Mightily Murdered Power Rangers #1.
Deep inside the jungle, in the shadow of the war,
generic group shot against a gradient background. I've got a feeling that this was supposed to parody a group shot, but it's not exactly impressive. The exact of it is that one person is holding another, one guy is standing on top of yet another, and, well, if the red ringer is supposed to be standing on the pink one, it sure isn't, or as heck isn't made clear.
We open on a splash page featuring parodies of the original 6 Rangers. Now, for a parody, I don't really mind them calling out stuff like Power of Barney, Power of Godzilla, and etc.
I mean, if they're related to dinosaurs, giant animals, and all that stuff. But they screw it up. First, there's the red ringer. Oh, I'm sorry, scarlet ringer. Wait, what the heck is the point of that? It's not a joke, it's just calling it a different shade of red. You might as well call the blue ringer parody the Azure ringer or something.
Anyway, they get it wrong because the Scarlet Ringer calls on the power of Godzilla. I don't know, maybe they were thinking Tyrannosaurus equals Godzilla, except the Green Ranger is the one with a big dragon that resembles Godzilla.
Then there's the Golden Ringer. Again, what's the damn point of making it a different shade of yellow? Instead of an animal, she has power of positive thinking.
I don't recall Trini on the show being any more positive than the rest of the Rangers, who were already a band on non-realistic goody-goods, so why that? I just don't get the joke. Maybe if the rest of them were all wielding powers based on crap like that, with powers like healthy eating, that would be a parody, but she's the only one like that. Is it just so they could put the exposed brain on a helmet? That in itself is dumb, but fine. Parody, whatever.
Oh, and the Green Ringer, who they didn't even get right, and that his outfit looks different. That'd be something to parody. Point out how he gets the special super duper power outfit and it is more popular than the rest of them. But no, he just has power of attorney.
Again, what is the joke?
What is the joke? Anyway, the Gold Ringer spots a putty, one of the foot soldiers that the Rangers often dealt with. And this may be a parody, but the Golden Ringer does seem to be drawn without breasts, acknowledging the fact that since it used footage from an Japanese series, he's changed the gender of one of the Rangers so they can have 2 women on the team. But for all we know, it could be the lazy artwork. I thought I saw a putty. That's silly. No, it wasn't a silly putty. And like silly putty, this thing is flammable. Don't give me any ideas, comic. I've already gotten complaints from Sheena about the lack of literal burning that happens every day in her school.
The Ringers yawn as more putties attack.
Ooh, I am so scared. I am absolutely trembling from the fact that they might defeat us, despite the fact that they haven't beaten us the last 387 times they've tried.
Okay, above all things, I am fair. So yeah, it's good that they're parodying that fights with the putties almost always go their way. But by that same chord, they were never afraid of them. It's just that they're enemies and they can still do damage. It has nothing to do with them being afraid of the putties. We cut to Lord Zed, or rather Lord Snoring Noise, where he's watching the fight through a crystal ball. The hell? Oh, and there's even a parody of Goldar named Goldarn, who is a dog with a Sphinx hat on his head, and the word bad guy written on his chest. They did understand what they were parodying, right? Goldar was a flying monkey, not a dog. And why is bad guy tattooed on his chest? Is it supposed to be parodying the fact that the villains are transparently evil? Well, yeah, the show is for kids. Not every show needs to have deep psychological issues with the villains. Sometimes it's just fun to have cool-looking villains fight our heroes.
Those Power Rangers are beating my putties again. Why are they terrified? Maybe because nobody finds putties scary. They're not supposed to be scary. Not to mention, you just made this joke on the previous page, only that was done better since having the Rangers actually yawn during the attack, implying the boring, repetitive nature of some of the fights. This is just spelling it out for idiots.
Then again, only idiots would buy this, or people unfortunate enough to review things on the internet. Lord Snoring Noise says they'll send down a monster, in this case a giant spider with boxing gloves and Nike shoes? The hell? Also, I freely admit to being a complete dork here, but I can't help but notice that the giant spider is in 3 segments, when arachnids only have 2 segments. It also has Big Daddy Bug Thing written on it.
Oh, because the monsters in Power Rangers always had stuff written on them.
No, they didn't. This is just bizarre.
Ew, a spider, ick! Ew, a spider, ick! Ew, a spider, ick! Observe, an arachnid, id. Was that supposed to be a joke about Billy always speaking in technobabble on the show? Well, maybe it would be, except for the fact that the parody of the Red Ringer is the one who said it.
Then again, maybe that's just another reason why this shouldn't have been in black and white, since the letterer can't tell the difference between shades.
Let's call our Zors! Why do we ever do that when the Petties...
Oh, wonderful, a spelling error.
Because poor literacy is completely expected in this.
Simmons, only you can make a running gag sound boring. Why do we ever do that when the Putties attack? Oh, we know a monster's on the way. Because Zordon set up rules for them on the first episode. One of them being never to escalate a fight unless the enemy forces you to.
Yeah, it's incredibly stupid, but there is a reason why they don't do it.
And heck, from a practical standpoint, the Zords can probably consume a lot of energy and fuel, and you shouldn't bring them out and when you all have weapons that can take down a normal-sized monster easily. If you're so full of questions, why don't you ask why you turn into a boy when you become a Power Ringer? Oh, so they did know about it, and it's not because of the crappy artwork. However, the artwork is still crappy.
And thus their Zords are released. Godzilla, Barney, that skeleton of a dinosaur, because one of them has the power of Spielberg, which should create an ordinary clone dinosaur, not a freaking skeleton. A walking brain, Dino from the Flintstones, and a giant mechanical, Elliot Ness?
Now we have to battle the monster until it is ready to defeat us, then form the Super Ultra Combo Zor. Isn't that inefficient? I'm with Brainy here. Or to heck with tradition. Let's make the Super Ultra Woozes. 1. They actually very rarely use the individual Zords against the monster. Usually they just form the Megazord right away. 2. Fighting them with the individual Zords is actually more efficient. You can gang up on him. It forces him to shoot at more than one target.
Then again, according to the opening splash page, these are teenagers with ineptitude. It is actually very rare on this show that a tagline is accurate.
So they form it and squash the bug. Those meddlesome Power Rangers have foiled me again. Why must they foil me? And why do I sound like the evil land developer on Scooby-Doo? Yeah, because obviously Scooby-Doo is the only show to ever say that their plans are foiled. And once again, I'm not sure what the heck this is parodying. Because when I think of Lord Zed getting angry that his plan failed, I think of this.
You failed, you slippery twit! You failed! You all failed! Just like you failed before!
Goldarn points out they actually know who the Power Ringers are in their civilian lives, and that he never told Lord Zookeeper because he never asked. As such, they will go down and deal with them in their civilian forms. Of course, anything resembling rationale in this comic needs to be counterbalanced by something stupid and pointless. Each time the panel changes, The words written on the two change for no reason. What is this, a frickin' political cartoon? Stop putting words on everybody's chests. It doesn't mean anything.
The next day, a Lord snoring, leaping sound, and Goldarn walk around out in t-shirts for New Kids on the Block and Deaf Crew. They find the Black Ringer and points out and say the Black Ringer is a black guy. At least it's not as bad as the Asian Yellow Ringer. No, I call foul, comic. You've already established that she's called the Golden Ringer. You can't change it back because you want to make the racism joke now.
Oh, and once again, in the interest of fairness and all that, we do have one of the editorial cartoon chest words that actually works, where it says that he's the Black Ringer. I'm guessing this is a reference to the fact that the Rangers wear color-coordinated clothing that might as well advertise to the world that they are the Rangers.
Or it could be that the audience, that they thought their audience was stupid and it couldn't remember who the heck anybody else is useless unless that was pointed out to them.
So they grab him and, sweet merciful crap, they just ripped him in half.
Amazing how he rips apart so easily. That always happens with one-dimensional characters.
Ha ha ha, making a joke over ripping someone in half, not frickin' funny.
And they do it again, too. They find the Red Ringer and give him a wedgie so hard that it pops his torso off of his legs. This isn't funny, it's just frickin' sick. There's the Golden Ringer. Oh, now it's golden again. Can you at least stay consistent with your stupidity? Let me handle this one. You lost that love and feeling.
And she falls apart like a mannequin?
That song always gets the girls go to pieces.
I'm sorry, people. I have no jokes to tell with this. I mean, how do you make a joke out of this? It doesn't have anything to do with Power Rangers. It's not funny. And once again, it's sadistically murdering someone in a nonsensical fashion.
Look, I admit maybe I am biased here because I am a fan of Power Rangers. But is this really necessary? It just feels completely mean-spirited towards a show that's aimed for frickin' kids. Yeah, even kids shows should have quality standards to them, but this isn't poking fun at the material in a total satire. It's not tongue-in-cheek. It's just stupid and a little gory. The jokes that the few that actually count as jokes aren't funny, and any time I try to give the thing a little leeway, it just throws something dumber at me. Ugh, back to the story.
The surviving Ringers are summoned to their secret hideaway, conveniently located for skiing, shopping, and sightseeing.
The exterior of the command center on Power Rangers is actually a place called the House of the Book, part of a Jewish university, and is often used in Hollywood because the architecture is unique and looks futuristic. It's photoshopped behind Vasquez Rocks, aka the place where Kirk fought the lizard in Star Trek. You do not ski or shop at Vasquez Rocks. So I suppose you can sightsee there. I guess they got that part right. Guy in a plastic tube.
Zordon! Come on, you couldn't even come up with a parody name for Zordon? And why is Tommy standing like that? Is he getting ready to dance?
Guy in a plastic tube. Why have you called us here? And where are the other three? They're in pieces. What Awful 9 means is they're at a peace conference. A peace conference, I mean. Yeah, that's it.
I can't believe that bobblehead said that!
Time for backstory!
In the middle of the second season of Power Rangers, 3 of the actors left the show. The in-universe explanation for this was that they have been chosen to attend a peace conference. What I'm getting at here is that apparently 3 characters just got mutilated in order to make that pun. It's not even so bad it's good pun. It is a pun that nobody would ever make, ever.
Anyway, Zordon says it's not a problem because they have 3 new teenagers and advises them to stick together to be on the safe side. The group gathers at the juice bar, but then suddenly, a giant foot slams down on them. Oh my god, it's Monty Python! They've come to save us with real comedy!
Oh no, what's his name? The new guy just got squished. The juice bar is filled with Power Ranger juice. He truly was the Scarlet Ringer through and through. You are covered in your friend's blood. Anyway, it turns out the giant foot actually is... Wait, Charles Barkley? That can't be right. Charles Barkley is our greatest warrior. It's the giant Berserkly from those commercials.
Berserkly? What, is he some sort of nigga Charles Barkley? Did he need a magic coin to grow too? Oh, and on an unrelated note, why is this here? Seriously, a reference to the Charles Barkley versus Godzilla commercials? Why? Because he was giant-sized? It has nothing to do with Power Rangers.
We better go right to Super Ultra Combo Oozes.
See? That wasn't so hard, was it? Making fun of the overly long, ridiculous names of the Megazords. That is a parody.
Not another Power Ranger battle. We still haven't got the buildings fixed from last time. No wonder Angel Corners has the highest insurance rates in the world. Oh my god. Another funny joke. I actually really like that one. Dear God, this comic might actually be turning itself around. And it shoots itself in the foot. The one foot that it has, but I'll get to that in a sec. What the heck is this? Mighty Morphin Huggies? Why does the Megazord have a diaper? What is that supposed to parody? Furthermore, it's pretty well established that they are indeed the Power Rangers, as the title suggests. Why does it say Mighty Morphin when they're supposed to say Mightily Murdered?
Oh my god, we just now got the title. And since one of them is dead apparently, they can't summon the other Zord to form the other leg, making one wonder how the hell the thing is able to stand at all. Maybe if it was listing to the other side, but look at that. It should be collapsing under its own weight. Oh, and we have a glorious return of stuff written on people's chests. Not a role model.
Wow, what a compelling message about Charles Barkley and his status as a role model to the youth of America and Canada. Thank you, Mightily Murdered Power Rangers. You have opened our eyes. May we please shut them again so we don't have to keep reading. Anyway, the Megazord falls over a cliff that wasn't there a second ago because of the aforementioned one-leggedness, and they all die. I'm not kidding. I'm assuming that's a massive fountain of blood right there behind the Kurt-Death sound effect, since otherwise falling into the river wouldn't kill them. Besides, we all know that the sound effect one makes when splashing into the water is deuce.
So, comics over, right? Of course not. Now it's time for the same damn joke repeated 4 times. What do I mean? Well, Zordon decides that they need to form a new team. Mighty Methane Power Rangers. No, you're not high right now. This is really happening. 5 sentient stoves.
Giving the villains a raw deal. Heroes that really cook.
You're tempting my friend here again with the fire thing, comic. Not wise. Naturally, Lord Snoring just takes them out with water guns, and Zordon makes another team. Mighty Morphine-Powered Addicts. Did you get the joke yet? If you don't, I will explain it, because it isn't funny as it is. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is a weird name. That is the joke. That is all it is, that it's a weird-ass name for a show. I could ask the question of why Zordon thinks that living stoves or morphine addicts are the best choices he could be making for a team of crime fighters, but then again, this is the guy who originally told Alpha 5. So, maybe the guy has been in the tube too long and isn't quite all there anymore.
Don't mess with me. I've got a monkey on my back. That line just made this comic worth it. I don't care if it's a drug reference. That is the best damn battle cry ever. Don't mess with me. I've got a monkey on my back. So Lord Snoring Sound defeats them using Method 1, which comes out in sparkles no less, but not before or a positively hilarious joke saying that they're going to defeat them with Method 1 before correcting himself for a typo. If that is a reference to something, it is so dated that any semblance of whatever the heck it is meant is buried in the bowels of time. Next up in the parade of fail is 1990 Powder Puffers, featuring 4 women in lingerie and 1 guy in lingerie. Though he looks as confused as the rest of us.
Did I just stumble onto a Power Rangers porno spoof?
It doesn't look like I own any Power Rangers porn, but I did find a clip of a Japanese Power Rangers porn online. I've pleasured myself to it 5 times already. Hey, Death Note porn.
The team is foiled by Lord Snoring Noise handing them television contracts. What? Were they models? Actresses? Porn stars? You know what? I don't care. Zordon says that he should be less specific, and thus he forms a team of completely identical beings, with smiley faces that have a blank expression, and calls them something 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 somethings.
Or in other words, the Power Rangers team created by Sarge.
Hey,
Oh, you know it's true.
no, it isn't. You're calling them something hackers. No way to look exactly like I designed them.
However, they're interrupted by a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I'm serious.
I'm at the law firm of Nard, Angelo, Tello, Nardo, and Fail. Mr. Snoring here has warned us that your name may infringe on certain with our firm's trademark.
If that's the case, where the heck was the Ninja Turtle complaining about My Little Pony Generation 5?
And so our comic ends with Lord Sucks saying he's given up his plans for world conquest and instead will dedicate his life to wiping out whatever force is sent against him.
Well then, I guess I won't be sending anyone against you. Wait, why did Lord Snoring Sound say that? Oh, they screwed up the word balloon again. I can see how difficult it is to place a word balloon when there are only 2 frickin' people on the page. Not to mention, and how stupid the ending is anyway, why does he give a rat's hinder about defeating Zordon if he's not going to take over the world?
This comic sucks.
This comic sucks. It's not funny. The artwork is terrible. Well, it's not a very good parody of Power Rangers. It's just comes across more than a little mean-spirited.
Well, let's just hope we don't review something that bad ever again.
Right. Next time, it's finally time to do a fatal fight between Venom and Bowser.
But remember to like the video, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on X.
As this has been Media League Sigma 6.
So, are you two finally done with the video now, or what?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Well, we've figured out which leave the rest of Dolan's friends are. They are in Level 5. Section 5, Subsection Zeta. Placed there by Darlink, but Melissa escaped.
Darling? They put them there? Why would she do something like that?
I don't know.
Well, I think I do. And I think we both got this mystery just about wrapped up. Hey, look at me. I sounded just like Velma. Now, if I were thinking like Freddy, I think it's time we set a trap for that Darling.
Yeah, and get the truth out of her.
Done. Did you think the war was won? We went to hell and back, but the fight is far from over. Terror rises from the ash of the evil we surmounted. Every day there's another way to stand up and be counted. So let's take the fight for freedom across the land and sea, so every terrorist can have the chance to die for liberty. Done, but we no longer retired. Justice never sleeps, there's always one more shot to fire. So let's take the fight for freedom across the land and sea, so every terrorist can have the chance to die for liberty. In one last battle, one final fight, road wars forever. Freedom never dies, today and tomorrow, until the end of time. We'll fight till the battle is done, until the war's been won. More freedom, more players, more liberty and justice for all.
Be sure to subscribe for more
more videos are on the way.